And our first main topic gets submitted to us by Carter G, who writes, "Greetings, John and crew. I laughed out loud when I read a story this morning that HBO Max had a solid growth first quarter this year that was nearly double the growth that they had in the final quarter last year. Why this is funny is because their growth went up after ending their day-and-date release of movies in theaters and on HBO at the same time. You always said their day-and-date strategy wouldn't work. I think this proves you're right. What are your thoughts?" All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And listen, of course, Warner Brothers, HBO Max has been in the news a lot lately. Obviously, because Discovery is now the new boss in town. 2 weeks ago, Discovery took it over. Discovery now owns Warner Brothers, Warner Media, HBO, all that kind of stuff as they plucked it away from AT&T. And I think good days are ahead for them as a result. Now, one of the more controversial things that happened with Warner Brothers in 2021 was the fact that Jason Kilar announced back in the day that in 2021, all of Warner Brothers movies would be released in theaters and on HBO Max on the exact same day. And they were convinced that this was going to cause HBO Max to explode in popularity. We all said, here on this show at least, no, it won't. This is going to cause you problems. As a matter of fact, this is antithetical to what it is trying to accomplish. Because if you have a movie have an exclusive theatrical debut first and play in theaters for a while, then you release it on HBO Max, there'll be bigger buzz for it. More people like, I love that movie. I got to watch it. It's on HBO Max. If I want to watch it again, great. I'll sign up. You would have had bigger growth. Now, through 2021, we discussed this and we showed the charts. HBO Max grew. It definitely did. But it just grew at the same growth trajectory it already had leading up into that point. As a matter of fact, in the first quarter of 2021, when HBO first instituted their thing of day-and-date release, they had 4 major films come out in that window. They had the Jared Leto, Denzel Washington movie, The Little Things. That was highlights. You had Tom and Jerry. Came out during that. You had the Academy level film Judas and the Black Messiah. You had Godzilla versus Kong come out all in the first quarter. And they added 3 million new subscribers. Okay. With all those films coming out day and days HBO Max. The things declined though. The final quarter of 2021, when they were releasing all their films on whatever too, they had 1.8 million new subscribers. So they had diminishing results. Well, a new report just came out that HBO Max in the first quarter of this year, after they stopped doing day-and-date releases, they actually gained 3 million new subscribers. Compare that to the final quarter of 2021 when they were putting their movies out in theaters and on HBO at the same time. They had 1.8 million. Stop doing that. They had 3 million new subscribers. Now, that doesn't prove much. This is anecdotal. But it does obviously suggest that, I guess that whole strategy of, well, if we put it in HBO Max the same day, that'll make HBO Max grow even faster. No, it didn't. And this proves that. This proves that. Now, what is also really interesting is that we're seeing in the first quarter that HBO Max is adding 3 million subscribers while Netflix lost overall subscribers. Now, of course, Netflix has a much deeper market penetration already than HBO Max does, so they clearly have more to lose. But still, it's interesting, which brings up a lot of questions, Rob, about, well, why could HBO Max, without releasing their movies day and date in theaters and whatever, why did HBO Max have success this first quarter, whereas Netflix struggled? We're going to talk more about Netflix a little bit later. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, MeUndies. Now look, if you're anything like me, when you run out of underwear, the first thing you do is you just run to the big store and buy the cheapest pack you can, or you jump online and buy a big bag of some cheap underwear. And it's, as long as it's not uncomfortable, it's fine. And that's the way life was for me until I got my first package of MeUndies and I put on that first pair I got. And I was like, this is how good things can be when you got underwear that's not just not comfortable, but actual comfortable underwear, and that's what MeUndies delivers, and I will never go back. The MeUndies membership is literally designed to make your life easier with free shipping and returns on every order, saving on virtually everything they make, exclusive sales, and early access to their newest stuff. There's kind of no reason not to join. New prints drop monthly, so there's always something new to see, but you can always skip delivery for the month or even cancel anytime, no questions asked. And guys, right now, MeUndies has a great offer for my audience. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. And for a limited time, if you sign up for their free-to-join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. So to get 25% off your first membership item or 15% off your first order and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea. So Rob, two questions I pose to you. What does the fact that while they were putting movies on HBO Max in theaters on the same day, they got 1.8 million new subscribers. Now that they don't, they get 3 million new subscribers. But then also, what does it tell us about the difference between HBO and Netflix, that in this same time period, HBO can have this kind of growth while Netflix suffered loss? How do you see it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can compare and contrast Netflix to HBO, because Netflix obviously is much bigger than HBO and had a lot more subscribers. But I think that, like you said, a theatrical movie, John, what do you say? Winning cures everything.
Yep.
Well, a theatrical movie cures, even if a theatrical movie doesn't do well at the box office, at least it was theatrical and people have heard about it. People talk about it. People have gone to see it. You know somebody who probably went to see this movie in a theater. And when it shows up on a streaming service, whether you're paying attention or not, because most people are not us, John. They're not movie pundits. They don't know exactly when things are going when and where they're opening and who's coming to, So all you hear is that your friend, I saw this movie and it's on HBO Max. After The Batman is on HBO Max now. I've heard from so many people over the last couple of days that did not go to the theater to see The Batman. And they're talking about it on social media. I'm blown away by how many people didn't go see it in the theater.
Well, it didn't make $2 billion. I mean, it made a lot of money, but it didn't make $1 billion.
Yeah, well, I would imagine people would have signed up. People I probably know signed up for HBO Max just to see The Batman, and they're talking about it. So it does not surprise me that now that day and date strategy, what Dune, was a day and date movie, but now we've got other big Warner Brothers movies showing up on HBO Max. I think it was a smart move to get rid of that. We've talked about how dumb it was in the first place. And I think that, HBO Max, we've talked about on the show that they have A-list programming. They have dropped a lot of good stuff in the first quarter of this year. A lot of good. We talk about how good Winning Time is.
Yeah.
There's The Minx.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great programming. HBO is always adding. What do you call HBO? It's the standard by which.
Yeah, they're the gold standard.
Gold standard.
Yeah. When it comes to television.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
programming, yeah.
A lot of good stuff that they've added. They've also got things like Friends that people paid Netflix paid $100 million in 2019 to air it for a year. So there's a lot of stuff. HBO is a great service, and people are coming to it. And as they add more theatrical movies, they're going to see more growth.
And, Erin pointed this out yesterday, and I think she made a great point when she was saying that when you look at what HBO drops, they drop a lot less at much higher quality. Like everything they do, everything they put out, like you were just mentioning Minx. Finally watched the first 2 episodes of Minx. Excellent.
Isn't it good?
Excellent. I don't like it quite as much as Winning Time.
No.
But I mean, excellent. Winning Time. My favorite thing on television right now. Like whenever they put out something, whether it's Euphoria or whatever, they always aim that whatever we're going to put on they understand this. What we put on our network becomes representative of our network. And I heard one HBO person say this before. We assume that whatever we put on, we assume that that's going to be somebody's first experience with our programming. Then you want to make sure you're not putting out a whole load of crap. Whereas Netflix has a different philosophy. They have some excellent stuff, Netflix.
They do.
They produce some amazing television shows, but they also produce a ton of low quality crap that they just throw on there. They take a quantity over quality approach, and it's worked for them for a long time. To be fair, it has. But it's just like when a new show comes out on HBO Max, you just go, even if I know nothing about it, it's probably something to at least check out because they only put out quality stuff. So, I mean, that figures in there too. So it's interesting stuff. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? HBO Max is having some success in the first quarter, whereas Netflix is struggling badly. Also, in the first quarter that they're doing it without putting their movies on HBO Max the same day that's in theaters like they did in 2021, they nearly doubled their growth. How do you guys see this? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.